ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to CSR. My name is Sarah Sugitan. For the second half of the show, we are going to talk about the people behind the COMELEC, the lesser-sung heroes that we know of when it comes to election time, namely the employees of the rank-and-file employees of the Commission on Elections. We have today the City Election Officer of Pasay City, Attorney Frances Aguindado Arabe, as our guest. Attorney Frances, good evening. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, Sarah.
Okay. Attorney Frances, as a City Election Officer, tanungin ko lang yung BEIs ba, empleyado ba yan ng COMELEC? Just for clarification, kasi ako, I always had the impression na yung election inspectors, nung college ako, syempre you vote 18 years old, di ba? Na yung election inspectors or the teachers are COMELEC employees. So, are they COMELEC employees or?
No,
okay,
no.
They're not COMELEC employees.
During election, we deputize a lot of government agencies. So, one of them is the DepEd. Yung DepEd will suggest or recommend names of teachers who would want to serve during election day as BEI, as Board of Election Inspectors. In the case of barangay, it is BET, Board of Election Tellers. So in the resolutions of the COMELEC, they are the priority. Government, public school teachers, and then if there are none available, private school teachers. Kung wala pa rin, then we go to government employees. And then kung walang-wala talaga, we go to the registered voters of that city. So sila ang pwedeng mag-serve. Pero yun nga, priority natin yung ating DepEd na personnel.
Public school teachers.
Public school.
Okay, bakit po ang election inspectors, teachers, hindi sila COMELEC, hindi siya galing from COMELEC rank and file.
Yes.
Yung pa nasa batas po natin yan.
Oo, nasa batas natin yan.
That's why.
That the BEI should come from the DepEd and priorities given to those who served in the previous election. So, kumbaga, carry over na lang lagi yan eh. It's always from the DepEd. So, yun nga, binibigyan kami ng listahan and we field them kung saan sila ma-assign, kung sino yung chairman, sino yung poll clerk, sino yung third member.
Pero there are COMELEC employees. There
serve as BEIs, wala.
Wala. Pero how do you work? Parang ano yung talaga, kasi ang COMELEC employees, like any government official, is available the whole year round, not just for the elections, unlike the BEIs na elections lang po nagsaserve.
Yes.
So, how do you work with the BEIs? Ano yung role ng COMELEC na rank and file? Kumbaga sa field offices?
Sa field offices kasi, in a city or in a municipality, we have one election officer. Depending on the districts din, nagiging dalawa yan. So, yung mga staff namin doon, or the rank and file, mga 5 lang yan eh. 5, 6, or less.
Okay.
So, ang trabaho nila,
sa city.
yes,
yung
that's
5 or 6
it.
na yun.
That's it. That's the COMELEC employees rank and file doon. And then, bawat isa doon, sa akin, kunyari, I have 5 election assistants, they are assigned a circuit. We call it a circuit. So, may number of registered voters sila na hinahawakan. And then, sila na rin ang in charge pagdating sa election day over the teachers who will be assigned to conduct, to conduct the election sa circuit na yon.
Wow.
So, parang supervisorial na sila over the DepEd personnel.
Okay. So, ang COMELEC employees po, so they're government officials. You are permanent ba yung
Permanent
status
sila,
dito?
yes. Permanent tong 5 to.
So, civil service, under po kayo ng Civil Service Commission. So,
Civil
you
service
comply
din.
with all the requirements.
Yes.
So, meron kayong security of tenure as
Yes.
well. Okay. Kasi po, nabalita ako that the COMELEC Employees Union are also fighting for higher wages. I think it's a common problem among all those covered by the salary standardization law.
Yes.
Kasi iba na po yung, di ba? Iba na yung sweldo under the law for government officials dun sa reality.
Yes.
Iba na yung gastos in reality. So, how much are you asking for, how much increase should be given to the rank and file employees?
Ganito kasi, Sarah. Yung COMELEC is a constitutional body.
Yes.
So, dapat meron itong independence in terms of its finances. And then, dati, there was a time, back in the 70s, COMELEC used to be the highest paid na mga government officials. If you're a lawyer in COMELEC, you are presumed to be the cream of the crop. Kasi that is where you get the highest wage pag lawyer ka sa gobyerno.
And now, it's prestigious. Diba?
Prestigious nun. It's hard to get in. Yun ang situation nun. But now, for some reason, the Employees Union of COMELEC, discovered that we have gone way below the salary level of other employees and lawyers in other government agencies. So what happened here is that hindi na na-increase yung leveling namin. So yun ang hinihingi namin ngayon, to at least level it with our counterparts.
Yes, sa
Kung
ibang
yung
agencies.
salary grade namin is, say, the lowest is salary grade 8, kunyari, yung salary niya is probably 5,000, ganon. Pag sa ibang government agency, umaabot na siya ng 7, 8, 9,000. So, ile-level lang natin yung amount with the actual salary grade level doon sa ibang agencies. So, yun lang naman ang hinihingi namin.
Ay, pare, yung po ba, kaninong trabaho yun, yung i-increase ng sweldo ng mga, ng public officials? Yan ba sa Congress? Kailangan po ba new law for that? Or
There are several modes.
Several
One is
modes.
through, by law, so Congress nga, or by DBM. So sa DBM, we can also ask the DBM to adjust it accordingly. And then we have found another option, pwede ring internally by way of resolution ng aming mga commissioners because that is how they did it in Senate. So meron kaming mga sinusundan na mga ano.
pero meron
mga-
palang ganung mode. So you can request
Yes.
to DBM or COMELEC itself can push for,
Yes.
maybe pass a resolution
Yes.
increasing
So
the,
we are looking at the most immediate na solution, which is through
Kasi-
resolution
Oo,
in
nga, kawawa naman po yung
COMELEC.
I was also a government employee once and I know na in reality, ang layo ng discrepancy talaga ng sweldo ng isang permanent na rank and file
Yes.
kesa sa private
Oh,
sector. At
yes.
saka
Oo,
napakatagal
oo.
na magkaroon ng increase.
That's
Napakahirap
true. That's
pasa
true.
ng increase.
It's very hard. It takes a lot of time, and then there has to be a law also. And yun nga, by the time you get the increase, siguro yung nagpo-propose nun, wala na rin sa government service.
Oo,
Mga
oo
ganon
nga
ba?
eh.
But that's, the union is working towards that. We want an increase in the salary just to level it with the existing government agencies, yung counterpart namin. I'll give you an example. Kunyari yung city prosecutor vis-a-vis the election officer. So we are the head or the chief of a city for a particular agency. Pag kinompare mo yung salary ng election officer, sa akin, it's 39,000. And then pagdating sa city prosecutor, it's 69,000. So,
Wow.
nakaka-demoralize ang
Oo,
discrepancy.
nakaka-demoralize.
When we sit, isama mo pa yung DepEd superintendent, which is 79,000. And these three people would sit as the board of canvassers in an election. And the basis of our honorarium is by DBM circular, which is 25% of our salary. So even if I am the chairman of the board and I did most of the work, I get the lowest honorarium as compared to my counterpart na
The board of
DepEd.
canvassers.
Yes, DepEd and the city prosecutor.
Sana
So,
pare-pareho po lahat. Sana
Yes.
pag umangat na isang agency, pare-pareho lahat ng same
Sana,
rank. No?
ganon,
Oo.
sana.
At saka, sabi nyo nga, demoralizing. Kasi by that time that you reach this certain position, you would have a family na by that time. Or, di ba? Or your means
Or
are...
retirable
Or
ka na.
retirable ka na, may edad ka na, tapos ganun pa lang yung
Yes.
kumbaga narating mo in terms of sweldo. So,
Yes.
I hope that you will, not just COMELEC, but all government agencies will merit an increase
I know,
in the
yes.
compensation for all our officials. Let's go to running the election. So, you're the city election officer in
Yes.
Pasay. So, how was the experience? How was the 2013 elections like for you as an election officer as compared to 2010?
It's peaceful compared to 2010 as far as my city is concerned, Pasay City. The proclamation period, the time before the candidates were proclaimed, was a lot shorter as compared to 2010. So feedback would say that it is very good. It is peaceful for the first time in the history of Pasay City.
Wow.
And for the first time, we had a mayor which was proclaimed on a landslide vote.
Okay. So,
Although that's
normally
being
po-
questioned now.
so, meron po protest.
Oo. It was maybe because there were so many resolutions that needed immediate implementation towards election day. So it was a bit of a rush for us. But all the same, it was very helpful. We were able to finish it with less trouble, less violence,
Now,
less confusion.
you are in between elections, in between the May 13 that has just passed and then the upcoming barangay elections. Ano po yung mga preparation that COMELEC rank and file? But you will be, you'll be preparing for the next election, the barangay elections.
Wala pa, and
Wala
we
pa
are
po.
uncertain if it will be
It will be held.
It will be held on October because there are moves to postpone it. although the bills which have been filed in the previous Congress, in the existing Congress, are already considered moot. So we will need a new law, a new bill this coming July for the postponement.
For the postponement.
So anyway, if it doesn't get postponed, we have from July to October to prepare. Because right now, we're still in the process of submitting our reports. We're still securing the reports, the expenses, the expenditures of candidates until June 13. So it's all post-election work at the moment. And then by mid-June, we can start preparing for the barangay elections.
So the way I understand it is during election period, biglang nagbabalon yung COMELEC personnel, kumbaga, kasi you are augmented by the DepEd, PNP, etc.
Yes.
Diba? Pero pagdating sa, in between elections, so you go back to your staff of 6,
Yes,
and you conduct the voter registration, the preparation for the next elections.
Yes, using that limited number of staff.
Kaya po ba? Like, 6 lang kayo sa buong Pasay City. In charge of all election data, election registration.
Kinakaya naman nila. Oo. You can really see how selfless din yung mga staff doon, yung mga rank and file. Kasi they work beyond office hours, if only to finish the job. Kasi ang mentality na nila ngayon, mas maganda nang tapusin para hindi maipon the next day. Wala nang consideration on overtime pay, ganyan. Kasi we have deadlines to meet also.
At saka pagdating sa election, time is of the essence palagi para sa botante at sa kandidato. Kaya siguro kahit nag-overnight na kayo sa opisina nyo.
They do. They work long hours. Yes.
Okay. So wala pa po palang preparation for barangay. Pero yung, okay, noong 2010 elections, nagkaroon tayo ng, in between, may barangay election din po.
Yes. We had the barangay elections right away after the presidential
How is that like? So, one election after another, kaya ba ng COMELEC na ano? Kaya, sanay na kayo?
Oo. Although, we would always say na the barangay elections is more emotional. Yes.
More emotional.
Stressful. Emotionally, because of the drama nga, dahil these are family-based, barangay-based na politics. So for us, we are very consistent in saying na mas mahirap mag-barangay elections compared to the national and local elections.
Kasi parang the people running and then the connection.
Sila. So, it's a family kasi. It's a family thing. Lalo na kapag Pasay kasi maliliit yung barangay. So there are like 1,000, 2,000 voters and they all know each other. So, madrama.
Okay. At saka po, ang barangay is manual yan, di po ba? Wala namang canvassing.
Yes,
di ba?
there's no
Lahat
board
ng
of
kayo na
canvassers.
nagpo-proclaim doon sa
Actually, it's the DepEd. It's the chairman of the BET who proclaims the barangay chairman and the kagawad.
At saka yung
Ang COMELEC, retrieval na lang kami. We collect yung kanilang mga election returns and the proclamation.
Okay. Nito pong 2013, maraming mga, like for example, posters, for example. Ayun, nakikita ko dun sa, that's your job to make sure that people comply with the campaign rules and regulations.
I think that is why it is more difficult now. Kasi we have resolutions creating a committee to remove and to file cases against violators. So we have resolution number 9616, which specifically directs us to send notices to remove to all candidates who have violated the common poster area, the legal size. So we send letters to them and we wait for 3 days for them to respond. If not, we have to go out and remove.
Paano po yun? Is that reported to your office or do you have to go out and then, make inspections of all
We have to go out.
Wow, that's really
We have to go out without a budget.
It's like you're campaigning, but you're on the lookout for posters that are illegally sized or posted in the wrong
we have to go
areas.
around the city. If you pass by or if you pass by one, then you should immediately take a photo of it and then write a notice. Medyo tedious You have the notice, you have the picture, and then you have to check on it again after 3 days and take a photo again. And
before you take it down.
Before you take it down, you have to keep that actual poster for evidence and then submit it to the law department for the filing of appropriate charges.
Di napakarami pong posters ngayon sa law department na
I hope so, kasi most of the candidates would comply. If you write to them, they would remove it within 3 days with a letter to us showing proof of compliance. So may picture din sila na tinatanggal nila ng poster. The thing is, even if they remove that particular poster that you are asking them to remove, they don't remove the others.
Bakit ni?
Oo,
So, isa
yun
lang,
lang.
yun lang inireklamo.
Kung ano lang yung nireklamo mo, or yun lang ang pinicturan mo, that's the only poster that they remove, or they move it to another location.
Ganun.
So, may compliance nga, but then, it's not, hindi pa rin siya ganun ka,
Oo nga po.
ka-efficient.
Pero, ikaw, personally, would you recommend that we change the law, for example, on the poster size or the poster area? Should we allow all sizes of posters and then allow it to be posted anywhere?
Hindi naman.
Hindi rin. Dapat
Oo.
meron talagang
We have a
rules.
common poster area, and it is designated by the number of the registered voters in that area.
So proportional po yun.
Oo,
Kung
proportional.
Ilan
Ilan ang
yung registered
botante
voters,
mo,
ganun din
divided
kadami.
by 5,000, that's the number of common poster area that you should have. At doon ka dapat maglalagay lang. Hindi po, although may loophole din yung batas kasi pag nilagay mo sa residential area, hindi na yun common poster area. So kung residential,
Private.
pwede.
Pwede.
Oo. And then, the legal size remains to be 2 by 3 in the common poster area and in the residential area. However, yung mga nasa residential area, they print bigger sizes, bigger than 2 by 3, and post it in their balcony, ganyan, or in
And
their
they claim
wall.
na it's private property. Valid naman
So
po yung
we
argument
cannot
na yun,
really catch them because we cannot remove the poster because it's a private residence or private property.
But you don't recommend that we change the law on the size? And
Maybe
also on
fine-tune.
fine-tune lang.
Oo. And
in what regard po?
if it is a residential area, dapat kahit hindi mo na matanggal yung tarpaulin doon,
Dapat
that
same
should
size.
be enough to file a case against the candidate.
O kasi parang circumvention, no? So if I just allege na, my poster is in a private property,
In a
then
private property,
it's beyond your jurisdiction agad. Parang ganun lumalabas, parang circumvention pa rin.
circumvention kasi in that place, in that private property, you can actually post
Violate
mga
the
big,
size.
big posters, and the COMELEC has no way of getting it as evidence for purposes of filing an election offense or a disqualification. Yun kasi ang mabigat doon, yung disqualification sana eh. But, so we have to limit ourselves to the ones which are placed in public areas, yung poste, yung kawad ng kuryente, ganon.
Okay.
So yun, medyo mahirap.
Okay, attorney, there are groups who would want to, before the elections, no, who wanted to revert to manual counting and canvassing. Would you recommend that based on your experience?
No.
We go back?
Nobody...
So we have a better system compared to the pre-2010 elections na manual
Yes,
lahat.
yes.
As an election officer, it's easier for you to
It's
perform
easier
your work.
and less mistakes, less intervention, human intervention with respect to the entries because it's already printed out by the machine. So, and on the part of the DepEd, the teachers who are serving, it's more convenient for them. They don't have to work 3 days, 4 days just to
tally the votes.
Yes, just to tally the votes manually and then transmit it to the canvassing who will also tally it manually. Diba? So, it's more convenient. It's faster and then less human intervention.
Posible po kaya na ilipat yung mga precincts to air-conditioned
Ay,
classrooms?
maybe
we
if
have
we,
bigger classrooms
maybe
para
if we
mas
move
convenient.
the polling places to private schools with air conditioning, pwede
Di ba,
siguro.
para
O,
mas
kung
convenient.
Kung papayag ang mga private schools na gamitin natin yung buildings nila, o say
for
Lasal,
election.
we go to Lasal and make use
Yes,
of their
oo,
classrooms instead of Pasay East Elementary School. So baka pwede yung ganun.
Pero
But
kayo po, how did you manage the crowds during the lines of voters during election day?
may ano naman yun eh, may prescribed na system of voting. Tinuturo namin yan sa BEIs before the election. So they have a training and then a refresher course again right before elections. We prescribe a holding area. So this is the voting room, this is a holding area. Nakaupo silang lahat doon.
And they follow that naman po.
Oo,
They followed it in May 13.
Sinusunod naman. So hindi na katulad noon.
Hindi na katulad noon.
Oo.
Alright. right, thank you
mahirap.
very much, Attorney Frances. We wish you luck in the next elections kasi hindi natin alam if it will push through or not. But in case, you will start preparing for that anyway, no, after ng post-election work nyo. And we hope that all the viewers, no, and all the government officials, we hope that the salary will be adjusted to current market value na expenses po how we live now, no? So, hopefully, the plea of employees, not only in COMELEC but in other government agencies, will be heard in terms of daily living wages. So, yun po. Thank you very much, Attorney Arabi, for joining us. Join us again next Wednesday night right here on GNN for another edition of CSR. My name is Sarah Sugitan. Thank you for watching the show.